Some of you may be familiar with Thornton Wilder's play, Our Town. It opened on Broadway nearly 80 years ago, won a Pulitzer Prize, and even today draws audiences from all around the country. It tells the story of the communal life of a small American town at the turn of the 20th century. Some of you may also be familiar with a song by Petula Clark called Downtown. It was recorded over 50 years ago, and within weeks of being released, it shot up to number 1, and even to this day has over 4 million hits on YouTube. It invites us to share in the richness of a vibrant downtown. So what is a vibrant downtown? What makes it special? And why care? We all know what we expect to see in a downtown: stores and restaurants, arts and entertainment, interesting architecture. But those are only part of a downtown, and they don't comprise of all of the downtown. They're both attractors of, and there because of it being the lifeblood of a downtown. Us, people. We go downtown to be with each other and to share in experiences. I like to call it our community's living room. And just as with the living room in our homes, the vibrancy comes from both the visitors and the residents. So what happens if we stop living in our downtown? Consider downtown Los Angeles. In the 1920s, its downtown was vibrant, chock full of arts and entertainment, restaurants and stores, and residents. Until, that is, after World War II, when we embraced a new concept: suburbs. People moved out of the downtown in droves, and as a result, downtown Los Angeles became underutilized, empty, and a shell of its former self. And then in the late 1990s, and continuing through today, downtown Los Angeles is experiencing a renaissance. Why? A single focus on bringing residents back. Today, over 100,000 people call downtown Los Angeles home. And it's just as vibrant and alive as it was in the 1920s. So why residents? Why not more stores and restaurants? Residents provide the constant Monday through Thursday vibrancy in a downtown. They provide that constant feel. They provide the vibrancy as well as the patronage that is so necessary to sustain a downtown. Remember that television show, Cheers? Norm and Cliff? Norm and Cliff represented so much more than simply props in the bar. They always had a story to tell. They were always willing to listen. In a very real way, they represented the spirit or the ethos of the larger community beyond the walls of that bar. That's what residents in downtown provide: the foundation, the continuous heartbeat. In Livermore, we recognize the importance of that, and we've done a lot of things in our downtown. We've narrowed the streets, we've widened the sidewalks, we've added trees and trellises, all with the goal of enhancing and creating an active and inviting environment. And we're also adding more housing for today's Norm and Cliff, millennials and empty nesters. Downtowns originally grew out of centers of commerce and transportation hubs, train stations, if you will. As a result, those central places became gathering spaces. And even though today our transportation and our commerce is much less centralized than it had been in the past, our downtowns still fill a very essential need for all of us as human beings, a gathering place for the tribe, where the ethos of community is both created and enjoyed. So what does this special place mean for us in the future? Think about, in the very short time, we've gone from face-to-face communication, face-to-face, phone and print communication. In less than a generation, we now send and receive over 23 billion texts per day. More than 1/3 of us prefer texting to phone. And with millennials, that number is off the charts. It takes an average of 5 seconds to read a text. Average discourse, 5 seconds. Throw in the broader landscape of what we're experiencing with growing international markets and global warming, for example. In our world, we recognize that our world is growing more and more connected and interrelated. Yet face-to-face communication, let alone lengthier shared conversation, has decreased. With that being said, we're now beginning to shift into a we perspective as opposed to an I point of view. MIT professor and author Otto Scharmer posits that we're evolving from an ecosystem awareness to an ecosystem awareness. And he suggests that as we move forward, in order to move forward, we experience from the perspective of others. As we move forward, we experience from the perspective of others. That seems to me to define what happens naturally in our downtowns. In our downtowns, face-to-face communication is alive. We interact and we blend in a very direct and genuine way, observing and experiencing multiple cultures and multiple perspectives. And in a sense, in an unspoken way, we all understand in our downtown we're at home and it's a place where we can relax and a place where we can be comfortable. So what does this mean moving forward? The form of our downtowns may well change. More technology, probably. Greater diversity, of course. Different restaurants and stores and entertainment, no doubt. But the core theme of our downtowns, I believe it'll remain the same, just as it has for so many generations. So the next time you grab your coat and you run downtown for a cup of coffee, take a closer look. Embrace the activity. Soak in the atmosphere. You're in the heart of our communal ethos, the richness of our past, our present, and yes, our shared future. And that's why I believe we care about our downtowns. Thank you.